So let's start with something pretty easy. Let's go ahead and write down 50 divided by 5 times 2. And on the side, I'm going to go ahead and write down my steps. It's going to be, please eat my dog and sister. I don't have a sister, nor do I have a dog. You can leave it to your imagination why. We already know what each of these letters stand for. It's going to be parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, and then add or subtract. And remember, when we're doing this, we're always going from left to right. We always want to make sure that's the direction we go, left to right. It's going to be, you want that to be a mantra for yourself. We never go right to left. So we're going to start from the left and we're going to move our way to the right and check for the first step, which is going to be parentheses. So going from left to right, I notice there are parentheses that I'm going to solve. Whenever we have these parentheses, we want to solve what's inside of that first. And that's going to be 5 times 2, which we know is going to be 10. And then once we're done with that, we notice we did not use the 50 divided by 10 yet, so we're going to go ahead and bring that down. Going once again from left to right, we think to ourselves, are there parentheses? There are not. So we're done with the parentheses step. Now we go to the exponent step. Are there exponents? There are not. So we're done with that step. Then we go to our final step, which is going to be multiplication or division. There is a division step here, and it's going to be 50 divided by 10, which is going to give us 5. Now, by that same reasoning, we can go ahead and write another question right next to this. We can write 50 divided by 5 times 2. These look like they'll give us the same answers because the operators are in the same place, the numbers are all in the same place, but there is one big key difference you're going to notice. You'll notice that the parentheses are in different places. So we're going to start from the left to the right, and we're going to go like this again. So going from the left to right on the first step, parentheses, we have 50 divided by 5, which is going to be 10. And then we solve the parentheses, we rewrite the rest of the question that we didn't use yet. You see how this part got used and it just became 10? This stayed the same. There are no exponents, there are no parentheses. We move over multiplication or division. There is a multiplication or division question. So we can go ahead and solve that now, and it's going to be 20. So no, you have to be really careful solving with order of operations, because notice here that we got two very different answers. We got a 5 here and we got a 20 here. If you solve this in the incorrect step, you're not going to get the correct answer. So let me go ahead, take a look for a few seconds, and then we're going to talk about yesterday's solve and share. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clear this. Yesterday's solve and share was about Jordan and Annika, and they worked on a problem. 15 plus 12 divided by 3 plus 5. And I'm going to write it a second time to the right of it because I want you guys to see what's going to happen. So Annika says 24. And Jordan said that it's equal to 14. So I'm going to write my steps down here. I always want my steps somewhere just in case I forget it while I'm working. And we'll talk about another way to do this later. Let's check for parentheses. So there are no parentheses here. So we are done with that step already. Exponents, there's still no exponents. That's gone. Multiplication or division. There is multiplication or division. So I start from the left and I go to the right. No, 15 plus 12 is not multiplication. 12 divided by 3 is a division step. So I'm going to solve that right here. 12 divided by 3, and that's going to be 4. Which is going to leave us with 15 plus 4 plus 5. So if I go from left to right, there is no more multiplication or division. That step's done. Addition or subtraction, there is. So I'm going to do 15 plus 4 first because that showed up first, left to right. Rewrite the rest. Next step, they're still adding or subtracting, so we're going to go and add that. And it's going to be 24. So you can see here how Annika solved it and how she got it correct. Jordan, however, got 14. And let's figure out why Jordan got 15. Well, I know Jordan didn't follow the order of operations, because if he did, or she did, he or she would have gotten 24. So I'm going to try doing what the biggest mistake that I know most kids will make. They're going to do 15 plus 12, and they're going to get 27 divided by 3 plus 5. And then I'm going to do 27 divided by 3 which is 9, plus 5. Now I'm going to do that. Now, do you see the big mistake that can happen if you're not careful with following the order of operations? You want to make sure that you're following this PEMDAS step all the time. This is another way you can remember the steps. This is a way that I rarely ever use, but it is a way, and it's called GEMS. I can't think of anything funny for GEMS. It's just not as funny. GEMS goes groups, exponents, multiplication. I'm just going to write times or divide. And then this is going to be subtract or add. It works the same way as PEMDAS. It's just a different way, mnemonic device for you guys to use. You don't have to use this one. You can use the PEMDAS if you prefer. And it works the exact same way. So I'm going to go ahead and try another question. Let's say I have 4 times 6 plus 8 divided by 2 times 7. Going from left to right, we check for groups. There are no groups, and by groups I mean parentheses, brackets, all those things. You're not going to be working with brackets and this thing in 5th grade. You might see it more next year. So there is no groups, there are no exponents, but there is a multiplication or division from left to right. And I noticed this is the first multiplication that shows up. So it becomes 24 plus 8 divided by 2 times 7. Going from left to right, there is another multiplication or division that shows up first. So we're actually going to divide first because the division showed up before the multiplication. And it's going to give us 24 plus 4 times 7. Going through from the left again, we do have another multiplication or division. It's going to be 28. And we're going to have 24 plus 28. Going from left to right again, we don't have any more multiplication or division, but we do have subtraction or addition. And we're going to add that, and that's going to give us 52.